No, we do have articles of incorporation. I got them this morning, which are separate from the Constitution. We do have articles of incorporation with the seal of the government.
Okay. And so why would we not want to align those with what we have here? I don't get what your opposition
We
is.
actually are. I looked at them, and I looked at the Non-Profit Corporation Act, and we are in alignment with them. In fact, we're adding sufficient other information that is not required.
All right.
The thing is,
no, please, Florence. Essentially what we have here is that you're arguing about the motion while you're trying to make a motion that we shouldn't have the motion at all.
I'm trying not to argue with it, but you asked me for that.
Well, you asked me the point of order.
Because it's a point of order.
I'm telling you,
that,
no, that's not something that we need to address.
Well, according to the Act, it is.
According to the Act, it is what?
According to the Act, sufficient notice has not been given the way the Act sends it out, specifies it. And I got the notice on Monday. That is not a sufficient time to go over a constitution.
This isn't you got the notice. This is about meeting the standards of the Act. So no, your point of order is rejected. I'm sorry, Florence. All right. So we need to move forward with business. So adoption of the agenda. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to talk to you about the agenda? Not about the motion. We can address the motion when we get to it.
It's Jack, John.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that, like, if someone wants to make an amendment to the agenda, which could be to strike a motion from the agenda, then that, according to Robert's rules, can happen, and it can be voted on. So, while I hear you, right, that like whatever Florence's motivation is behind her, the rationale to that not sufficient notice was given, etc., whatever, that's fine. It doesn't really matter what the rationale is. If she wants to make a motion to strike something from the agenda, she can do so, and if it is seconded, then it can be voted on. So someone can put forward that motion, and you have to, as chair, you have to allow someone to put forward a motion to strike something from the agenda. And if it is voted down, then great. And if it's then it's not stricken from the agenda. But, just speaking to point of order, like someone can make a motion to amend the agenda by striking something from it. And it doesn't really matter what their rationale is. Like, I have thoughts on like whether or not notice was given, like whatever. I disagree with Florence, but just like for the point of order, like someone can make a motion to amend the agenda.
Yeah, I'm not too sure they can do that as a point of order, though, can they? All right, Florence, you've got that motion before you to strike that from the agenda. Does somebody want to second that? Go ahead, Carl.
I was just wondering if we had to approve the agenda and then a motion to strike something from it.
Well, that was my thinking. I don't think you can amend the agenda. Well, you can defeat the agenda. I think to amend the agenda, you have to pass it. Which was really my point, is the point of order itself was out of order. That wasn't when we should have been discussing that.
Well, then let's take a motion to amend the agenda and then vote on that amendment and then either pass the original agenda or as amended.
Okay, perfect. So Florence, would your amendment be to remove that that motion 11.11? Okay, so there's a motion. Is there a seconder? Okay, Let's give Neil, if you could, a moment to create a poll on that one. A motion to amend the agenda by removing 11.11.
All right, John, poll is made. I can bring it up whenever you're ready.
All right, let's open it up. And like I said, it's 2.5 minutes seemed to be a good baseline before. Let's use that. All right, we're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and the vote is in favor. So the motion is removed from the agenda.
I just wanted to add a little bit of context. I mean, obviously this will come up at a later date, but this is for Florence, and this is non-political, just kind of technical infrastructure context. The question of providing notice versus receiving notice are obviously two different things, and you know that because providing notice in a newspaper doesn't mean that any members are going to see that. In fact, my expectation is that fewer of our members would see a notice in the paper than they would in social media. And I'm guessing that that's partly why the notice was provided on social media and on our website as well. You might wonder, why did I receive an email about this on Monday? You might also wonder, why have I never received an email about an AGM before? And the answer is, this is the first year ever where URSU has been able to directly contact our members. So that's why this is the first year ever where all 16,000 members were directly emailed about the AGM. We've never been able to do that in the past. So it's just a little background context for everyone.
All right. Okay, next up, approval of the agenda. as amended. As amended. Can I get a mover for that? Rajinder? Seconds? The hand up. Can somebody second with the hand up function, please? All right, there we go. Tyler Moose Hunter. So Gurjinder and Tyler. All right, again, 2.5 minutes. You can open the poll now, Neil. All right. We're at 2.5 minutes and the motion is carried. Next up, we have approval of the minutes from the previous AGM. Before we move to that, I should note in 11.1, it reads that it was seconded by Usman, whereas it should read Usman Khan, Khan.